Hey guys, welcome back to The Joy of Wrenching. My name is Les. I'm your friendly neighborhood mechanic. And today I wanted to go over something that's kind of frustrating to me at least about all those videos out there about replacing valve cover gaskets. They say replace the gasket, replace the spark plug tube seals, replace the solenoid seals, but they don't show in detail how to do that. So I'm going to change that today, and I want to show you in detail how to remove the old spark plug tube seals, the old solenoid seals, especially when they're stuck in those plastic valve covers, and how to do it without cracking that plastic. These valve covers are very brittle. They get old, and they are expensive to replace. So follow along, and I want to show you on this Ford 3.5 Ecoboost how to get those seals out and press in the new ones safely and not breaking the plastic. This will be the same for whether it's a Ford or a Ram or whatever. So let's get into it. One of the things you definitely want to do is replace the gaskets on these valve covers and even the spark plug tube seals. You saw how stuck on those things got, and then the solenoid seals as well. So I want to show you the way that I get these things out of here so that we don't crack these plastic valve covers. This is the easiest way that I've found. You may find a dozen different ways to do it, but I like this way because it has less chance of breaking. So these seals don't have a lip on the back that stops them. They're just pressed in until they're flush with the plastic. So you can either push them through or pull them out. It's up to you. But the way that I like to do it, because they grip in there over time so well, I like to release that grip a little bit with some pliers. And so I've got these pliers here, and you just go on the seal itself, what's sticking through, and you want to get on the plastic on either side of it and give it a squeeze just like so. And you see how it kind of deforms the thing, and once it deforms the thing, it's breaking that seal that it has with the plastic around it, and that'll make it a whole lot easier to come out. Let's get it squished just a little bit more. There we go, look at that. Alright, so let's turn this over now. You can see we really broke that seal. And so now, all you got to do is just push these things out, pull them out, whatever you want to do. Now, see how this is real thin right here? You don't want to pry in that part right there. So we're going to work on a different area. We don't want to break that thing. So this one here. Now you can use a screwdriver, or what I like to use is a seal puller. So now that these things are loose, you can get that seal puller in there and put the other end of the seal puller on some meaty part, and then just roll it back and try not to grab the valve cover with the seal puller so you don't gouge the plastic on your way. Just like that. Alright, let's get this other one. Just put the seal puller underneath the part that's loose there. See how easy that just pops out? And then you don't booger up the inside bores so that the new ones can slide in. So now we're going to go ahead and get these spark plug tube seals. I'm just going to use some channel locks just to show you that it doesn't really matter what tool you use. Just make sure that you only grab the rubber part and not the valve cover itself. Give it a squeeze and it'll just come right out just like that. And see, we're not banging on this plastic, and we're not breaking this brittle plastic valve cover. These things are too expensive to mess up. Now that we have the old seals out, we're going to go ahead and get our new seals, and we're going to press them in. Okay? The way that you get these things in is just to push them in. You're going to want to put a little bit of oil on the bore, like so, and also a little bit of oil around the surface that's going to be pressed into this valve cover. Once you get it, just set it in place like that. And remember, this is up, okay? That goes down. This side goes up. You just set it in the bore right there, put your fingers on either side of it, and try and get it kind of started into that bore a little bit. And be careful, again, this real thin part right here is where it has a tendency to break. And you just want to kind of get it started. And once you get it started, find yourself a socket that is just the right size to help you push it down into place. So I've got one here that I'm going to use, this back end, and you want to make sure that that socket goes on this outer lip and does not go through the hole like that. So now that we got one that goes on the outer lip and doesn't go through the hole, come around and watch where I'm pushing this thing. You're just going to put body weight or pressure on this thing, and you're going to push down. What you're hearing clicking or whatever are just these bolts that are still in it. And as I push down with my socket, I'm just pressing that in there. Now you can use a press if you want to, but I find that when you do it by hand, you actually have a feel for the pressure you're putting on it versus the press, which is not going to let you know if you're putting too much pressure and might break this thing. There you go. And you just want to push this thing down until it's flush with the plastic. So see, it's still got a little bit of a lip there. You need to go just a little bit more. And it's best to try and find a way to make this thing flat against the workbench. But they've got this little air breather tube that sticks down, so you kind of have to figure out a way to hang it over the edge. But we'll make it work. We'll persevere here. And just kind of press on it. Give it a little bit of a wiggle. Now if you want to, you can even tap it home with a hammer. But again, you run the risk when you're hammering that you're going to crack some of this plastic. So I don't like doing it, but I'm going to show you anyway. That can just help you with that last little bit if you're having trouble with just your body weight. Just make sure that it's well supported underneath. It's almost flush. Turn this over. Now, once this socket comes in contact with that plastic valve cover there, you'll hear a sound actually change a little bit. I'm going to let you know that you're done. We're almost there. May not got picked up on the audio, but there you go. That's flush. So that's how you get them in there. Hey guys, wanted to break in for just a moment and ask for your help. If I'm helping you with these videos, if you're getting something out of it, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us to reach a greater audience and to just help other people. I appreciate that, and we'll get back to it now. Same thing with these spark plug tubes. We're going to press this in there. So get you one of your new ones. Get a little bit of oil on your finger. Put it on the inside bore where you're pressing into. Put some on the outside of the new seal. That'll help everything slide together. Set it in place, and then these actually seem to push in a little bit easier than the solenoid ones did, so you can press this one in place quite a bit just by hand. Now it's almost completely in place right there, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my socket again so that I'm getting nice even pressure across it. Again, this socket is just big enough to go on the outside of that seal, but not big enough to fall through the hole. There you go. I'm going to set it on top, and then I'm going to give it a press. You're not going to be able to see a whole lot as I do this, but I'll lift it, and you can see there we're still sticking up. You want to make sure it goes in even, obviously. Almost there. I really want to refrain from banging on it with the hammer, so I'm trying to get it in there just by body weight, but maybe I don't weigh as much as I used to. It's a good thing, right? Alright, almost flush. Got a little bit more to go right here. Almost. It's hot out here in this shop tonight. Alright. Just for that last little bit, I'm going to go ahead and give it a couple of love taps. Again, you don't want to go too crazy with the hammer. Just enough to make it go down and get flush with the top of the valve cover. Ooh, we're so close. There it is. There it is. Okay, so that's how you get them in there. Now it's time to change all of the gaskets on these valve covers. So this is where the high pressure fuel pump bolts up. So I've just picked out the old gasket, and you can see there's some oil and a little bit of grit and junk down in there. So just get you a Q-tip or a paper towel or something like that. Get down in that groove there and clean all that up real good before you put the new gasket in. There we go, nice and clean. Stuff the new gasket down inside of there. This is a Felpro kit for the valve covers. Oh, what's the number on this thing? Oh, it comes with valve covers and a bunch of other stuff. But there you go, VS 50993R. On the other side, we've got the outside perimeter gasket that you can just peel out like so. Again, clean the groove really nicely. Get all the junk out of that groove so it'll seal up good. We already pressed in our new spark plug tubes and our solenoid gaskets, and then we'll also need these intake manifold gaskets, and all of that comes in this kit from Felpro. And if any of these gaskets are tough, just get you a little pick or whatever and kind of dig under the edge of it until you can pull it out. Okay, so now we got the new gasket in around the perimeter, and just sort of push it in there, and it's kind of fat, and so it'll generally stay in there for the most part. Got our new intake gaskets on here, so this one is ready. We'll go ahead and move over and do the other one here from the driver's side. And just like that, there we go. New perimeter gasket, new intake manifold gaskets, all fresh and ready to go. That way we won't have to come in here and do it again for another leak soon. Well, there you go. See, that wasn't so bad. Just a few little tips and tricks along the way, and it'll help you to save those plastic valve covers, get those new seals in there so that you won't have another pesky oil leak anytime soon. Hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully you learned something. And if so, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so that we can help other people as well. Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless.